What do you think we should expect to hear from the Senate this morning in terms of what their questions are?
Well, look, I think that there is still places in this market that don't have the competition that we expect to see for consumers. And I think a lot of the competition that we do have, when you have competition, the discounts that are taking place in the marketplace aren't flowing back to consumers. And the fact is that there's been a lot of rules created by government programs in the past, in part from lobbying from the drug industry, that have gummed up the system. And I think the CEOs are probably going to be asked to explain some of those things and defend it, or not.
Prices have gone up on a lot of drugs. I was looking at the Wall Street Journal that points out Revlimid, which is a drug to treat multiple myeloma. It's a Celgene drug, Celgene just being bought by Bristol Myers Squibb. Anyway, that drug has gone from under $250 for a 10 milligram dose back in 2007 to almost $720 today. That's the type of things that make people so angry when they hear these things. It's the type of things that unites both Democrats and Republicans when they go after issues like this. What is the real problem, aside from just a lack of competition? When you start talking about the rebates that are handed out, who's to blame? Where would you point the finger?
Well, look, I don't want to talk about any specific drug, but the problem is that when we do have discounting in the market, so when you have the expected competition in the marketplace and you have pricing systems that allow that competition to extract discounts in the market, and we don't always have that. So, for example, in Medicare, we don't have competitive bidding, so it's hard to extract discounts even when you have product competition. But when you have the right conditions and you can extract discounts, the problem is that the discounts come in the form of back-ended rebates that go back to the health insurer, and those rebates are used to pay down everyone's premiums. So everyone's getting lower premiums because of the discounts that are being paid on the drugs, but the patient who's out of pocket for the cost of the drug is paying the full price. So effectively,
or a patient who doesn't have insurance.
Or a patient who doesn't have insurance. But even a patient who does have an insurance is paying out-of-pocket costs, and they're effectively spending money to subsidize discounts on everyone else's premiums. So it's the exact inverse of what you expect, where the sick people are helping to subsidize the healthy people. That's not how insurance is supposed to work. So we've got a wacky system where the discounts aren't flowing to the people who are actually spending the money.
Is that an argument for saying you can't give these sort of refunds? You can't give these kickbacks to the pharmacy benefit managers or to the insurance companies anymore?
Well, that's one of the arguments that the administration's advancing. I think what's happened also over time is because of other government rules and because of the result of certain litigation, the whole system's been forced to rebate in the form of these discounts, and it's very hard to give upfront discounts at the point of care to the patient at the pharmacy.
Why not just cut the list price?
That's what we're trying to do by getting rid of the ability for the PBMs to pay these rebates. But I think in an optimal system, you want to allow the discounts to flow directly to the consumer.
Are you hopeful that this year is going to be a turnaround point in terms of drug pricing? Do you think we get our arms around it this year?
I think we're seeing a consensus emerge in Washington for some kind of bipartisan action. I think that there's a possibility that you're going to see legislation, bipartisan legislation, to try to address some of these issues. I mean, it's really three issues in my mind. We don't have the expected product competition in the marketplace. I'm trying to work on that by getting more generic drugs onto the market. When we have competition in the market, we don't have pricing systems that allow us to take advantage of all that competition and actually extract discounts. And in the situations where we do extract discounts, the discounts come in the form of these rebates that aren't benefiting the consumer who's actually spending the money on the drug. So those are three problems. I think they're addressable problems. We're trying to work on the first one, trying to get more product competition into the market. We've been successful at that. But even when we see product competition in the market, like with the injectable drugs, the biologics, because Medicare is a price taker in the Part B system, in the injectable market, they're not extracting discounts on those drugs.
Hey, Scott, on that 60 Minutes report, and I guess when anyone hears 60 Minutes report, you know, it strikes fear into my heart, too, just a 60 Minutes report. Anyway, I don't know why that is, but give me an idea of how fair that portrayal was of the backroom discussions between the FDA and drug companies that caused the FDA to put in that long-term, to allow it to be prescribed so much more frequently with that long-term number. Was there something untoward going on there, or was it mischaracterized really by 60 Minutes?
Well, look, I can't speak to actions. Okay. The report was about 20 years ago. I had the opportunity actually to talk to former Commissioner Kessler yesterday. I called him to try to understand what happened 20 years ago. But I will tell you what we announced yesterday is that we're requiring long-term studies on these drugs to look at the long-term efficacy. Okay.